everyone, and welcome back to Ava's Workshop. Today I'm going to be showing you a cooking pot I made from The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. This is my little brother Elliot. Now Elliot loves Zelda, Breath of the Wild, like pretty much everyone does. And in our family we play it all the time. And one of the really cool things about Zelda is cooking. Now you go around gathering materials and ingredients, and then you throw them in a cooking pot, and you get, different types of food. And one of the recipes you can make is called monster cake. And monster cake seemed like the perfect thing to bake for Elliot's birthday. Now, if you don't know, I love to cook. I can make stuff taste good. I can't make stuff look good. So please don't judge me. So here's the basic idea. There are 4 ingredients to making monster cake. Tabantha wheat, cane sugar, goat's butter, and monster extract. So I made these big versions of them out of wood and plastic, and Elliot's gonna have to collect them, put them in a cooking pot, and then the monster cake will be revealed. Now there's a couple ways of doing this, and the easiest one is a trapdoor. Now it's been a tradition in our household to make these big banners that say happy birthday, and then have these little pictures of all the different stuff we liked or obsessed about that year. So for Elliot, it's most likely going to be Baby Yoda, Zelda stuff, and airplanes. Elliot really loves to build styrofoam model airplanes with servos, and it's really, really amazing. He's really talented. So we're going to make a big wood poster, and we're going to paint it so it looks like a bunch of bricks. And on this, it's going to say Happy Birthday, Elliot. It's going to have all the little things on it, but he's not going to realize there's a trapdoor. It's actually not all that hidden, but that's okay. So when he puts the ingredients into the pot, the trapdoor is going to spring open and reveal the monster cake. And of course there's going to be smoke, because I love fog machines. Everyone knows that. So anyway, this is kind of the diagram of what I want it to look like. So here's the basic idea. We're going to have the stone wall wood thing, and it's going to say Happy Birthday, Elliot, and there's going to be a little fire under it. So then he takes the ingredients and he shoves them in. There's a big puff of smoke, and then bum-ba-da-ba-da-dum, the monster cake comes out. All right, let's get started making it. So for this project, the main stuff you're gonna need is a 12-volt mag lock, a small fog machine, a PicoBoo prop controller, and some wood. Now, the fog machines you can get from Amazon or Home Depot or wherever. The PicoBoo prop controllers are these really great simple prop controllers, but you can always use an alternative one. Now, I'll put a link in the description for where you can get them. Now, a mag lock is a very strong electromagnet that's perfect for this. It's probably too strong for what I need to do, but I had one lying around. It's normally used for holding doors shut. Now, finally, the wood, I'm using premium wood that I harvest from the stables outside of Rito Village. That is very premium wood that you can find there. So I started working on this project literally a day before Elliot's birthday, and I had very little time. So when I was working on the electronics, I had my dad go outside and build me this kind of thing out of wood. So this is the back side of it, and the front actually has the part where the trapdoor is going to be and the sign. And you can see that little indented box, and that's where the cake is actually going to go. So this is the hinge that I'm going to mount the trapdoor to, and the thing about this trapdoor is it's 1/4-inch wood, so there's not really any way to mount it with screws or bolts. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to use 2-part epoxy. So as you can see right here, I'm mixing up the epoxy, and I'm going to glue this on nicely and use a generous glob. And wait, keep out of reach of children. Am I Goodness. Oof. So as you can see, I'm securing this on right now and just holding it as the glue dries, and making sure everything is centered. And it looks pretty good, so let's just take a second to enjoy how smooth this is. So now I started painting it. I'm just using some standard gray paint and a rolling brush. And this is actually where you can see the inside of that little box where the cake is gonna go.
Now I let this dry and then I used a Sharpie to draw some cobblestones on it. And now you can see the trap door and how that whole thing works. So that's going to be held in place with the maglock. And I'll go over that in a second. Now I'm just using some glue to glue a sheet over the back so you can't see any of the electronics that are going to go there. Looks pretty nice. Yep, it does. So now we're just going to use a standard prop controller to control this whole thing, and I'm using the PicoBoo from Fright Props. I'll put a link in the description where you can get one of these. Now basically a prop controller just allows you to use the buttons to control some outputs and play some audio, which can be triggered. So there are two outputs on this. One is going to control the door and one is going to control the smoke machine. The input is going to be triggered from a button, and then the sound output is going to play the Zelda cooking sound. Now this prop controller utilizes relays. Now relays are basically switches that the prop controller turns on and off. So one of these is just going to be wired into the manual button on the fog machine. Now some of these fog machines can be high voltage, and in addition, they're all different. So make sure you do some research to figure out how you can wire into your fog machine to control it from the PicoBoo. Now we're also just going to tap right into the main 12-volt power supply from the side of this controller and wire that to the maglock. And the maglock is going to be normally closed, which means it's always being engaged until we want it to disengage, which is when it's going to demagnetize and drop the trapdoor. Now we're also just going to use a little button, which are just going to connect between the trigger input and ground, which is going to start the show. And of course, we're also just going to wire in a small speaker in order to play the sound. So now I'm just going to extend some of the wires on this controller so I can hook them to the maglock so everything fits. And take a little quick break to play screwdriver drums. Oof. So I'm just taking the connection cord for my fog machine, and this is what the end would connect to the manual button. Now I'm actually going to connect to the green and white wires, and I did that wrong, so I have to cut the black one and reconnect to the white one. In my fog machine I measured uses 75 volts, so you got to be really careful when you're doing this because it's a nasty shock. So now I just glued that maglock in because I had not a lot of time, and then we're just going to push the button. You can see how the maglock disengages. Now we're going to attach it with some Alright, so now I'm going to go print out some pictures for Elliot's birthday and then put them on the poster. Now these are all the different things that he loves. Now right now I'm just adding the sound to this controller by plugging the output of the Nintendo Switch and recording it in. And it's a little bit of a hard task, but you know, you'll figure it out. Then I'm also just going to record button, tap out my little sequence, and then I'm done. And presenting my hard work, the monster cake. So I also forgot to film the fog machine getting set up, so instead of showing that, I'm going to show you a compilation of cute cats. Now you can see I've painted it and all the little printouts are on, and we just close up the trapdoor and you can hit the little button and ta-da! It's birthday time!
video. It was a pleasure to make, and Elliot really loved it. If you have anything you guys want me to make, or any questions, or pretty much anything, you can always comment on my videos, or reach out to me with an email. So don't forget to keep on building, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!